Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump's Ukraine mineral deal, theory and reality. So, the long-awaited deal has been signed. It took months of negotiation, a lot of bizarre rhetoric, a total meltdown in the White House that will forever leave people questioning the wardrobe of American politicians. And in the end, it was largely a symbolic event. But with all the coverage and the celebrating coming from Trump world, it's been surprisingly light on details. There's a reason for that. The deal isn't what Trump advertised. It's not a bad deal for the U.S., but he oversold it and underdelivered. Honestly, had he not tried to play master dealmaker in public and make grandiose claims, if he had just done this behind closed doors and emerged with the deal, it would probably be viewed as a pretty big success. But he tried to negotiate in front of cameras or on social media. In the end, he didn't have the cards to get some of his biggest promises fulfilled. One of Trump's big promises was that Ukraine was going to pay the U.S. back for all the aid they had received before they got more. That's not happening. In fact, there's no debt mentioned in the agreement. Now, Trump has tried to frame this as being okay because the U.S. will make more off the deal in the long run. He's right. Weird to say, but he is. But the U.S. would have made more in the long run even without a deal of any kind, just by Ukraine surviving and being a trading partner. Ukraine got specific wording to make sure the deal doesn't block their EU ambitions. There's also tougher language about Putin's invasion. Trump did get oil and gas included in the deal alongside the minerals, but it doesn't include any production that is currently a source of revenue for the Ukrainian state. Now, there's another little bit at play here. Timelines. Mines for critical minerals take a long time to develop, 10 or 20 years. That may explain why oil and gas was included. Those take less time. Adam Webb of Benchmark Minerals Intelligence said, quote, "If anyone's thinking suddenly all these minerals are going to be flying out of Ukraine, they're dreaming. The reality is it's going to be difficult for people to justify investing money there when there are options to invest in critical minerals in countries that are not at war." So, the payoff from this deal won't take place until long after Trump is out of office. In related news, the Trump administration has readied its first sales of weapons to Ukraine. Now that the U.S. has a financial interest in Ukraine, Trump will be more likely to support the country, at least for a while. Scott Bessent described it by saying, quote, "As the president has said, the United States is committed to helping facilitate the end of this cruel and senseless war. This agreement signals clearly to Russia that the Trump administration is committed to a peace process centered on a free, sovereign, and prosperous Ukraine over the long term." We'll see where things go from here. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.